I think it went well. I think it went well because it seemed like no one had any questions about what they should be doing or how the program was working. It seemed to run pretty smoothly. Sometimes in the past it's kind of been a little slower, so the new fixes to it and the engine speed really helped a lot. And some of the little bug parts of it, like if you had to have the screen fully open to see the controls, like all that was gone. So I think it ran really smoothly. And it seemed like students knew what they were looking at. I think some of the things I heard students talking about between themselves, like without me, was probably where they were learning the most. Like discussing that question about how the enzymes find the substrates. Like some of the discussions about whether they were finding the pizza or just drifting into the pizza. They were really kind of discussing and arguing and figuring things out by themselves. I think that today is mainly about just learning how the program works and collecting a bunch of data, and then tomorrow is when they have to show that they can make sense of it. So I think tomorrow will be more informative in terms of seeing what they understand and what they're taking away from it. But as of now, like everything went smoothly, so it seems fine.
And
I guess it would have been nice to have a few more minutes at the end instead of being rushed, but what can you do? So tomorrow we're going to look at the two graphs, or in the spreadsheet that they were filling in, I set it up so it graphs both lines on the same graph. So we're going to look at those and compare that and try to explain why there's the differences and then what goes on with the graph with enzymes, like try to hope they can explain the shape of that curve. I think at first they look at this packet and they're like, oh wow, this is a really long packet, I don't want to do all this work. But then I think as they got going, they see, oh, this is interesting, it's cool, it runs quickly. Oh, and some of them are, I noticed, really engaged with the code, which was cool. But I think as they go through it, they see that it's well structured and there's a point, and the questions are useful questions to think about and answer. So I'm fine. Well, I think the teacher needs to be very familiar with the simulation and needs to run through it on their own, like maybe twice to get the patterns with the randomness. And then I think it's helpful to give students some information initially, but not everything. Like I pointed out some features of the program because they hadn't done it before, but you don't need to show them everything, they'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. But you also have to gauge your class. Like I'd already taught about enzymes and spent a long time with mono and di and polysaccharides, so I didn't spend a lot of time teaching that, but I think you just have to read the class.